cancer seems quite well designed, so does the guinea worm, as do many other natural things that try to kill us. Are they all from an intelligent designer?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start this off, Diane. I think you probably should be the one who answers this, because we've done a fair few things like this on the Q&A side, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and anybody else who wants to in between. Then after that, Sam, because of time restraints, you need to come back to Craig and myself. Both of us sort of have to leave before the end of the show. But I'll repeat one of the things that I've said we've discovered almost accidentally in Australia about tapeworms. Now, tapeworms are a nightmare to most farmers. If they get in the sheep or whatever, they will rob the sheep of nutrition. They will hook onto the wall, etc. And, you know, when I was at university, they were regarded as an abject pest and evidence against creation. Here's what we've discovered. How do you deal with tapeworms? You can have the very expensive sort of stuff that kills them all, or you can do what some farmers discovered, children's red cordial. It's a really good controller and much cheaper than anything else. So there's all sorts of things you can do. But the one thing that's come out of those studies is if you are overloaded with tapeworms, in other words, there's an imbalance got into the system somehow, the sheep will die. On the other hand, if you get rid of them all, then the sheep doesn't do as well. Somehow it seems to have a relationship with the tapeworms to clean the inside of the gut, etc., and pass it on naturally. So if you get rid of them all, the sheep doesn't do as well. If you are overloaded, the sheep dies. In between, if you have the right balance between the worms that can clean out the stomach and the organism, all gets along well. So therefore, in the perfect world where the balance was invented by God, the grass, the eggs, etc., everything works well. When things go downhill, as Ravi says, it looks like it was designed to kill you. No, it was designed to live symbiotically with you, commensally with you, so that there's benefit all the way around, or at least to one with no detriment to the other. Diane, would you take that and run with that there?
Yes, the problem you've got here is a loss of control or a loss of information. So in other words, we're going from a well-designed, well-organized system to something where you have lost some of the information, so it's got out of control. So you have a loss of control between, we'll go with the worms first, with there are a number of worm parasitic diseases that affect human beings as well as sheep. Guinea worm is one of them. If the worms get into the wrong place and are out of control, yes, they will kill you or they will make you sick. So again, it's a loss of information. That's where we see the evidence of design and the evidence that the world started out good because it was full of perfect design. But if you knock out some of that design, you knock out some of the information, things don't work as well. And that's
where's the loss of information, Diane? Where's the loss of information, in the host or in the worm?
Probably in both, in that the host will respond to the worms, and when if there are too many worms or too many other microorganisms, it will kill them off and get rid of them. And also the hosts, for whatever chance random reasons, may end up in the wrong place and think, oh, well, this is a good place to be, but it's not where they were meant to be. So we have to think of chance random processes happening out in the natural world as well. But normally there is communication between the hosts and the commensals. Getting back to cancer, it is a loss of information in the DNA and the genetic information in those cells, in that they have lost the mechanisms that determine how fast they reproduce and how they interact with the other cells around them. So in fact, cancer and worm diseases are a good example of design gone wrong. In other words, we see something where it should work well, but it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't, if we drill down into it, is loss of information. So again, the creation followed by degeneration worldview or mindset explains what's going on. gradual upwards evolution does not.
In other words, Diane, when people are listening to what we're saying and asking, what would the evidence be for creation? We can answer easily, it's stuff that by itself won't do that, right? So that when you look at the E's, it never happens by itself. But we don't live in that perfect created world. We live in what you said, a created world gone wrong because of our choice to sin. So here's the big picture. You'd look for brilliant design, fantastic engineering. I don't know if you can remember how many megabytes or gigabytes Sam was talking about. Unbelievable, complex genius at one level, overlaid by a fringe of degeneration due to loss of information or loss of interaction. So that would be the evidence. The biblical picture is correct in Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, up to Noah's flood and beyond down to the present world.